Mr. Unrighteous Sin, Sean Tiff. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go subscribe. Unrighteous Sin, Sean Tiff. I wanna chop something up real quick. Uh, a lot of people been asking me, and I've been telling them, but let me just drop something real quick about kids, about the illusion that these are your kids. Um, One thing that I can agree on, that they're your kids. One thing that I uh, could disagree on is that they're not your kids. Um, we're about to break this all the way down. I grew up Southern California. I got taken away from my mother when I was 12 years old. You know, we ain't gonna get into why, but I got taken away from my mother, my brother and sister. They got separated. It's me and my little brother and sister at the time. I got other siblings, but on my mother's side, it's just me. And I have a little sister and a little brother. We get taken away. And I'll never forget, it was about in 95. And we was on a freeway, and she just had a panic attack. And she, it was just something, but anyway, she was around somebody. Whatever ended up in her system, because I love my mother, and I'm not here to bash my mother or anything, but whatever happened, it was something in her system that was not in agreement with the state of California. So they took us away. I went to a group home. I'm 12 years old. I go to a group home. They sent me to a group home. They sent my brother and sister to a foster home together. I'm not really knowing what's actually taking place. I find out that, what is it? It's just temporarily. That's the thing that I get. You know how they always tell you they fill things up and they want you to understand that. So what actually happened was, my social worker, I'm thinking that I'm about to come back. I'm thinking that it's just something just temporarily. Turns out to be that years go by. It get about 2 years. I think I'm 14, and my social worker, she comes to my group home. This was the time when I was in Chino, but I was in Pomona. I lived all through Southern California, and I was in this one group home, and it's been 2 years. My mother calls me on the phone. I talk to her. Yeah, I'm already getting adapted to this group home, having a social worker, living with different individuals with similar situations. They went through transgressions. So my social worker brings me into the office, and she tells me, she says, your mother didn't comply with what the court wanted her to comply with. So the judge has declared you become long term, and you don't get out until you're 18 years old. So I asked her, I'm like, what you mean by that? She says, yeah, the court gave her orders to do certain things to get us back, and she chose not to do it. So by her not doing what they told her to do, they said, well, we're gonna not give you your kids. I have came to the conclusion, which is really true, but you don't really pay attention to it, is that that's power. It's the illusion that you have. See, only thing that you are here for is to create the child and give birth to the child. Um, but the state owns the child, and you gave that up when you had birth. And if you went to a hospital, when you signed that birth certificate, see, because this is a generational thing. Everybody's did it. Your mom, your mom, your mom. I did it. When you signed the birth certificate, you were signing your child away to the state. Okay, so the state owns the child. You are just the person that gave birth, and you're just renting the child. Parents, a pair of people that rent, or a parent, you're renting. Like you're just renting that child until you do something to that child that is, how should I say, that is contrary to the state. The state has the birth certificate. You signed it over. You think that you signed the birth certificate. When you sign the birth certificate, you're signing your child away to the state. You may not want to look at it like that, but I'll tell you one thing. As soon as the child goes to school and says that they have not ate, they've been abused, the teacher's going to make a phone call to the principal, and they're going to contact the original parents. Department of Social, Children, and Family Services. And they're going to come pay you a visit. And they're going to say, well, we got a complaint. Well, just to let you know, if that was really your child, why is somebody else coming and being more concerned about your child than you are? So if that child is going to school saying that they're hungry, which that shouldn't be happening, and they get a call, a complaint from the school, and the school actually says it's a child and the child is being abused, not eating. Them social workers is gonna be there, is gonna descend so quick on your doorstep, like, what happened? And they're gonna knock on the door. Why? Because that's their child. Their child has not been eating. Their child has been abused. As far as our knowledge, you signed your child away when you signed the birth certificate. That's why you have Department of Children and Family Services. Services. So when you don't feel like, keeping up with the agreement with the state, with renting the child that you gave birth to, then they're here to take their child away. Their child, yeah. And if you really think that you own your child, I'll bet you, try to not feed your child for one day. Don't do that, but let your child go to school and say that they have not ate. Watch how fast they be at your door. And when they're at your door, you answer it and you say, how can I help you? And they say, well, we got a complaint. Well, do this. Slam the door in their face. And when you slam the door in their face, say that, this is my child. You can't do that. You can't just slam the door in their face. Why? Because the police is going to be right there. And they're going to arrest you, and they're going to come take their child away. And when they take their child away, and they have you go to court, because out here in Los Angeles, yeah, you know the court, Monterey Park. Yeah, they used to pick me up, go to Monterey Park, McLaren Hall, Eddie Lee's, Penny Lane, New Dawn, so many different facilities, Mr. Austin's, different group homes that I done been in all through Southern California. And how they're gonna work is they would take the parent to jail if they're being rebellious when it comes to the social worker asking what is going on with their child. I know it. I know it sounds cold. I know that's cold. I know that's cold. But you don't own your child. You do not own your child. You are renting your child until that child goes to school and complains that their parent, the parent, is not feeding him or abusing him. They're taking your child away. Your child is getting took away from you, okay? And they're gonna give you stipulations that you will have to accomplish if you want their child back, which is your child, but it's their child. If you want to rent their child back, if you want them to allow you to still rent their child that you gave birth to, then you're gonna have to follow their stipulations. You're gonna have to do what they say. Parenting classes, anger management, you know, they're gonna put you through certain situations that you're gonna have to do to become the parent that they want you to be able to take care of their kids, their children, you know. And yes, when they put me in a group home, I was taken care of real well. They don't play. And if there's any problem in a group home, they have certain numbers like licensing that you call, and they'll be there so quick at that group home. If it's one roach, an insect, if it's anything out of line, a staff get out of line, they don't play with that. When you is a ward of the state and they got people working and you are monitoring children that's a ward of the state don't play with that. And my only thing is that I had with that when I was in these group homes is that I had to deal with things like this being said to me. I work here, you live here. So I went through it, and I went through it to get to it. And it made me strong, a bigger person. But I always have to tell you that you don't own your kids. You don't own your kids. All it takes is for you to lose your kids is for them to say, I have not ate. Or my mom or dad is beating me. And show the thing. Show the wounds or the bruise. And they're coming taking their child. What are you gonna do? You're gonna close the door and you're gonna say, oh, you're not taking my child, which is really their child? That's not going to transpire that way. But I'm just here to tell you that you don't own your kid. So your child that you gave birth to, you need to do what's right as that parent. Because if not, then the real parent is the state, and they're gonna come take their child away without no problem. So it's things that you have to follow. And that has to also come in with understanding that welcome to the system of white supremacy. I know it's messed up. I know it's not fair. I know it's just not. But hey, welcome to the system of white supremacy. You don't own your child. You don't even own yourself. I don't even own me. I know that sounds cold, but I don't even own me. The state owns me. The government owns me. The white supremacy owns me. I'm Unrighteous Sin, Sean Tiff. Go subscribe to my channel, Unrighteous Sin, Sean Tiff.